Hello everyone, in this lesson we will talk about simple present tense and its usage. Plus, I'll also provide a quiz at the end of the lesson to check your understanding. In this lesson we will talk about 6 different usages of simple present tense, namely permanent situations, facts, schedules, routines and habits, frequency, and the most important one, talking about the states using state verbs. But first, we will discuss what is simple present tense. It is the most basic tense in English and it is the first tense that you will learn in any English course that you take. It's very easy to form it. All you need to do is just take a subject and add a verb to it. You have to remember that the verb that you are adding should be in the first form, or you can say it should be in the base form. Subject can be a word like I, we, you, they, he, she, it, or name of any place, person or thing. We will discuss in detail how to form a positive, negative, and interrogative sentences using simple present tense. To form a positive sentence, all you need to do is add base form or the first form of the verb to the subject I, we, you, they. That's it. That's all that you need to do. But when your subject is he, she, or it, you require s or es to be added to your verb. For example, here I have written he works. So that is something you have to keep in mind. This is known as subject-verb agreement. If you are unaware about this concept, do let me know in the comments below and I'll make a lesson on that. To form a negative sentence, all you need to do is add do not or don't after the subject. You can say I don't work, we don't work, you don't work, they don't work. But when your subject is he, she, or it, you will be adding does not or doesn't after your subject. So it will be he doesn't work, she doesn't work, it doesn't work. It could be anything. You may be talking about your television, you may be talking about your car, and you can simply say it doesn't work or car doesn't work. If we talk about interrogative sentences, you need to add do or does before your subject. In case of I, we, you, they, you will be adding do before your subject. But when it comes to the usage of he, she, it, you will be using does. So, this was how to form a sentence using simple present tense. You can also use other interrogative words to form a question sentence. For example, where do you work? When do you work? Where does she work? So, this was all about forming a sentence using simple present tense. Now we will come to usages. Our first usage is talking about permanent situations. If I say I live in Delhi, it means that this is a permanent place where I live. Not just for a short time, but for a long time. And more or less, it is a permanent situation. It is mostly true. If I say I am living in Delhi, so it is not a permanent situation. It may be that I have come here for vacation or to visit my friends or family members, but I am not a permanent resident of Delhi. Taking next example, if I say I work as a teacher, it means that I am talking about a permanent situation here. It may be my permanent job. I work as a teacher. It doesn't talk about a timeline. It is more likely that I started as a teacher sometime in the past. I'm still working as a teacher, and in the future also I will be a teacher. So it is more or less permanent. But if I say I'm working as a teacher, it talks about a temporary arrangement. I may be a part-time teacher. I may have taken this job because of some problem or something. So I can say that I'm working as a teacher. The last example that we are going to take is Ram speaks Spanish. Now, here you can also say Ram is speaking Spanish, but both of these sentences will mean something different. If you say Ram speaks Spanish, it is that we are talking about his knowledge of Spanish. He is not going to forget Spanish anytime sooner. So it is a permanent situation. But if I say Ram is speaking Spanish, it means that I'm talking about presently Ram is speaking in Spanish. The next usage that we are going to talk about simple present tense is facts about the world. So here we have some examples which will always remain true. For example, sun rises in the east, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. 2 and 2 makes 4. Earth moves around the sun. So if I talk about all these examples, they will always remain true. They are not going to change. So they are more or less a permanent situation. The next usage that we have here is talking about schedules. What do I mean by that? Let's say your class on daily basis starts at 9 a.m. So what you will say? My class starts at 9 a.m. That is an arrangement which happens regularly, and that is more like a schedule that you have, that you follow. It happens on daily basis and there are no changes to it. So what you will say? My class starts at 9 o'clock. You can also say the flight leaves at noon. So this is also a general statement, as flight regularly leaves at noon. Next we will talk about routines and habit. If I say I wake up at 6 o'clock, it doesn't mean that I'm talking about today. If I say I wake up at 6 o'clock, it means that in general I'm talking about, and on daily basis or regularly, I wake up at 6 o'clock. So you have to remember that it doesn't mean today or tomorrow, but it means overall or in general. Next example is I do yoga every morning. So this is also a routine that I follow, and that's why I'm using here simple present tense. You cannot say I am doing yoga every morning. If you are saying that, it is a wrong statement. Why? Because here you are talking about your habit or your routine. So usage of present continuous here will be wrong. Taking more examples, I can say I drink tea every morning, or Ram visits his parents on weekends. Here in all these sentences, I am talking about my routines and habits. Next, we are going to address the concept of frequency. Let's take an example. If I say, she always takes the bus. So always here means that 100% of the times she takes a bus to her office. So here also you will see that we are more or less talking about a pattern. We are talking about a permanent situation. So here also the usage of simple present tense is correct. Here you can see a table where I have given various of the adverbs: always, usually, generally, often, sometimes, and so on. You have to remember these words, not the percentage, but you have to remember where they lie, more than 50% or less than 50%. And whenever you are using any of these adverbs, you have to know one thing, that your sentence will be in simple present tense. You cannot change the tense of your sentence. Taking some more examples for better understanding, I can say, she rarely misses the class. He sometimes goes for a walk. So here in both sentences you will see that I am using simple present tense. The next usage that we are going to talk about is the most important one, and it is talking about states using state verbs. So here we will take two examples. The one example is I want a pizza, and the second example is I drink coffee. If I say I drink coffee or I am drinking coffee, both of these sentences are correct. Though they mean something different, but they are correct. I drink tea every morning. That is a routine that I have. But if I say I am drinking tea, so that would also be right statement, because I may be drinking tea right now, a temporary situation. I'll start drinking tea and finish it. It is an activity which requires some physical efforts from my side. But if I say I want a pizza, we don't start and finish wanting, and we can't do it continuously because it is not an action. So we can say that it is a state. We normally don't use state verbs in ing form or in continuous tense. We use them in simple present tense. We saw that wants is a state verb. In the same way, other words that express wants and likes are also state verbs. You might say, for example, Ram loves to sing. I hate the way media shows the news. In both of these sentences, the usage of simple present tense is right. Why? Because both of them are state verbs. And here we will avoid the usage of continuous tense or these verbs in the ing form. Verbs of thought and opinion as well are state verbs. You can think of these as mental verbs. Verbs that express the state of mind. For example, I think he's really smart. Do you remember me? Avoid the usage of continuous tense or these verbs in ing form. Similarly, we have verbs of the senses. See, hear, smell, taste, feel. Your perfume smells really nice. This pasta tastes awful. So in both of these sentences, I am again using simple present tense. Why? Because both of them are state verbs. Avoid usage of continuous tense or these verbs in ing form. Next we have appearance verbs. For example, that house seems to be empty. She looks really beautiful in that dress. I think by now you have understood we won't be using them in continuous form. Lastly, we have verbs of possession. For example, that house belongs to Sam. I own a house. I have a car. You won't be using ing form here as well. Some other state verbs are cost, depend, include, involve, contain, lack. It is a good idea to memorize as many of the state verbs as you can. Try solving this quiz if you have understood this lesson. Here you have to answer true or false. That's it. Do let me know your score. So this was all about our today's lesson on tenses. I hope you understood simple present tense. If you have any doubts, any confusions regarding simple present tense, do let me know in comments below. If the lesson was helpful, please like it and subscribe to my channel. We'll meet in the next lesson where we will discuss more about tenses. Thank you.